Imagine this. You're on a date, and everything seems to be going well. The conversation flows effortlessly. She's laughing at your jokes, and the chemistry feels alive. But beneath the surface, something feels off. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but you notice it. She's polite, she's kind, and yet it feels like she's holding back. She's physically present but emotionally distant, as if a part of her isn't truly invested. You might leave that date replaying the moments in your mind, asking yourself, what went wrong? Why didn't she seem all in? This is a common experience for many men. The frustration builds when, despite their best efforts, they can't figure out the answer. They try harder, thinking the solution lies in charming her with endless compliments, showering her with attention, or deferring to her preferences entirely. Maybe, if I make her feel extra special, they think, she'll be drawn to me. But here's the hard truth. These approaches rarely work. In fact, they often backfire. Why? Because they miss the deeper dynamic that fuels attraction. Here's the secret. A woman's greatest attraction lies in feeling the presence of a man who knows how to lead. Now, before you misinterpret that word, leadership in this context is not about control, coercion, or dominance in a harmful sense. It's about confidence, emotional strength, and creating a space where she feels safe enough to let go and connect on a deeper level. It's about being grounded, self-assured, and clear in your intentions. Why leadership matters. Let's break this down. Whether consciously or subconsciously, most women don't want to carry the responsibility of steering the dynamic in a relationship. While she may appreciate your respect for her autonomy, constantly deferring to her, "What do you want to do?" or "Where should we go?" can signal indecision or a lack of direction. Over time, this dynamic becomes exhausting for her, even if she doesn't realize it at first. What she truly desires is to feel the steady presence of a man who takes initiative, a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to step into that role. This doesn't mean ignoring her input or preferences. It means creating an environment where she can trust your decisions and relax into the moment. That trust is the foundation of emotional connection and attraction. A real-life example, Dave's story. Let me share a story that might resonate. A friend of mine, Dave, was one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. He was thoughtful, considerate, and respectful, qualities any woman would appreciate. But when it came to dating, Dave kept hitting a wall. Women would seem interested at first, but after a couple of dates, they'd start pulling away. One night, Dave confided in me about a woman he'd been seeing. They'd been on 3 dates, and each time he let her make all the decisions: where to go, what to do, even what time to meet. He thought he was being a perfect gentleman by giving her all the control, but instead of appreciating it, she began to lose interest. I told him, "Dave, she doesn't want to be in the driver's seat all the time. She wants you to take the wheel." At first, he was skeptical, but I convinced him to try something different. For their next date, I told him to plan everything himself. Choose the place, decide the time, and confidently tell her, "Meet me there at 7. He followed my advice, and the transformation was immediate. She was more engaged, more present, and more drawn to him than ever before. Why? Because Dave finally stepped into his role as a leader. By taking the lead, he allowed her to relax and simply enjoy the experience. Confidence is key. This brings us to an essential point. Leadership in relationships starts with confidence. If you're constantly second-guessing yourself, seeking her approval, or worrying about whether she likes you, you're inadvertently creating a dynamic of uncertainty. Women are highly intuitive, and they can sense this energy. Hesitation, nervousness, or an overly cautious approach can signal to her that you're unsure of yourself, which in turn makes it harder for her to trust you. True confidence isn't about being arrogant or overbearing. It's about knowing your worth and acting from a place of self-assurance. For instance, when planning a date, instead of asking, "What do you want to do?" say, "I've got a great spot in mind. Let's meet at 7. Do you see the difference? The first approach puts the responsibility on her, while the second shows that you've got things handled. It's a small shift, but it makes a big impact. Emotional leadership. Leadership isn't just about making plans. It's about guiding the emotional dynamic between you and her. Women are incredibly attuned to a man's emotional state. If you're calm, present, and grounded, she'll feel it. If you're anxious, distracted, or overly eager to please, she'll feel that too, and it's likely to push her away. For example, imagine she throws a little test your way, a sarcastic comment, a playful jab, or a challenge to something you've said. How do you respond? If you get flustered, defensive, or overly serious, you're signaling insecurity. But if you stay composed, laugh it off, or turn it into a playful comeback, you're showing her that you're unshakable. And that kind of composure is deeply attractive. The essence of true leadership. Let's be clear. True leadership in a relationship is not about domination or control. It's about creating a dynamic where she feels safe enough to surrender emotionally. It's about showing her that you're in control of yourself, your emotions, your actions, and your decisions. This doesn't mean ignoring her needs or preferences. It means balancing your confidence with empathy and your strength with vulnerability. When you lead with this kind of energy, you're not just attracting her. You're inviting her to connect with you on a deeper, more meaningful level. She doesn't want to be in charge of every decision or interaction. What she truly craves is a man who can lead with kindness, strength, and a clear sense of direction. Putting it all together. The next time you're with a woman, remember this. It's not about being overly deferential or constantly seeking her approval. It's about stepping into your power with confidence and clarity. Whether it's planning a date, responding to her energy, or navigating challenges, show her that you've got it handled. When you do, you create a space where she feels safe, valued, and deeply connected to you. This balance of leadership, empathy, and self-assurance is the key to unlocking her trust and attraction. Use it wisely, and you'll build relationships that are not only passionate, but profoundly fulfilling for both of you.